Mic on. Charging battery.
Test, test. Okay, looks like we've got the volume working, we got the audio working. So, good afternoon, everyone. It's October
Charging
31st.
battery.
Happy Halloween for everyone. Um, yeah, 4 p.m. on Halloween. My name is Elvin Moy, also known as Epoxy, and for today, we're going to be casting the League of Legends Division 1 team here at Illinois Tech as they continue their
Charging
way
battery.
through to Play VS Fall Invitational. I'm going to unplug this headset from charging. Play VS Fall Invitational and um, with their opponent today against Northeastern University, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so if we take a quick look, actually, I found their score report. Give me a sec, and then we can do a quick check on the viewing screen here. So for those that aren't aware, Illinois Tech for the past few weeks has been in the Play VS Collegiate League of Legends Invitational, and they had a match earlier on Tuesday that we weren't able to get a cast of, but I'll probably do an online cast later on tonight or tomorrow against Lord's University. They in the Invitational IIT actually with a 2-2 record were able to qualify for this playoff bracket. Um, but the two losses meant that they got seeded all the way down to the 28th seed in a 32 seed bracket, I believe. and their opponents, Lord's University, was really up there at number 5, but IIT took a nice 2-0 win against them with some really interesting drafts and play styles. So for today's match against Northeastern, competition looks to be even tighter against the 12th seed, so we'll have to see um, how it goes. I don't know if Illinois Tech has too much history against Northeastern. I think maybe in some of our other games. I'm trying to remember if there's been any in league that we've had in the past. I can't think of anything. But if anyone does have a memory better than mine, I guess, uh, when it comes to IIT knowledge, let me know. Looks like both teams are getting themselves situated onto the Rift. So if we go to the pick ban screen, everyone's in the lobby chilling right now. Illinois Tech is going to be on the blue side with Blitzkrieg there in top, Divine jungle, Draco mid, Snowdown Arcade, ADC, and bottom and Fear Poro as support. For Northeastern, it's going to be Kato in the top. Kaito? I'm going to say Kaito. Let me know if anyone's from Northeastern watching. Let me know different. Stale Bagel in the jungle, Alonius in the mid, and Oink in the bottom, and Ask for SoundCloud as a support. Well, it's been a busy day for League of Legends today on Halloween. If you were up at 5 a.m. to catch the Worlds, that was a pretty exciting game between Div1 versus Suning, and spoiler alert, Div1 winning 3-1. But if you want to check that out after the stream, feel free. It's some top tier League of Legends gameplay, and maybe some of this will give some inspiration to maybe some of these teams to try it out. This past week also had the release of Seraphine out onto the Rift. It's not going to be playable here for the Plays VS Invitation. I believe it's too new. But there's also been a Samira during the release, during Worlds. So while that's unavailable at Worlds, it is available now for Play VS. And we're going to hop right into Champ Select. And for those watching, if there's any issues with the sound, just let me know. But for what it's worth, I think we'll be okay here. So, once again, Illinois Tech into the blue side here. Northeastern University, I believe, having an also pretty solid record in order to get them into the 12th seed. So they probably only had maybe one loss in their group stage here before going into the Invitationals, if I had to guess. But Illinois Tech's going to start things off with the Kale ban, and Northeastern there with the Fiddlesticks. So looking like they are already focusing on Divine. Some of the picks that we're very accustomed to that a lot of opponents seem to be banning away from Divine, including like the Kindred. I know I've seen Fiddle is somewhat new, but is still a threat onto the Summoner's Rift for sure. We've been seeing a lot of different playstyles on Fiddle. I've seen people start building him with a Glacial Shroud first item, which has been interesting too. But the Bard going to be taken away there for the SoundCloud support. And Azir mid taken away there for Draco. So a little bit of a roster switch here in the mid-fall season right now. Draco now normally being a top laner, but with an absentee player here during this season, we're going to have to make some adjustments and bring in Blitzkrieg here to this roster. Going to try to see how he fares up into the top lane for this season. So final bans though for the first phase here. We're going to take the Jhin away there from an Oink. So a little bit of diversity here all around for Illinois Tech's bans. Same here for Northeastern, and it's going to actually be another jungle focus there with the Shyvana. One of those champions that can go pretty hybrid in terms of her build. But Illinois Tech's pretty, they've, throughout the couple of games that I've seen them, they've started to build out their champion portfolio. A lot of teams I noticed have been banning Morgana. Maybe they're trying to bait IIT to pick it out quickly here, but in the end, it's going to be first pick here on IIT's side with the Shen, and that's likely going to be a Shen top. I don't think I've seen Divine perform it inside the jungle before, but it has happened. I think the Worlds game had a Shen, didn't it? At least in one game. So not uncommon. We'll have to see what each team's their style of play is. You know, if they're going to go try to focus on the late game, you know, Azir's a great pick for that. Or mid game fighting as much as possible, or just as much 2v2 prowess as you know, if the bot lane, if they're confident with one's bot lane. But in terms of rank disparity, you know, between these two teams, it's not terrible. I think the highest is probably the GM with the support, but most of the other laners are pretty much within divisions, you know, D3s, D2s, so they'll all meet each other in solo queue. um, but a couple picks here from Northeastern. And I feel like for some reason I thought that they were playing Purdue, so I definitely apologize if I called them Purdue a couple of times by accident. But I'm going to try to force myself remind myself that it's Northeastern for sure. And it's going to be the Orin and Graves there, picked up by Kaido and Bagel, and Samira there for Stone on Arcade. We have seen that performance, I believe, game 1 against Lords, an impressive showing by Snowed on Arcade to have a really nice KDA padded up there, and essentially forced Lords to ban that out in the game 2 earlier this week. It's going to be a Nautilus support there as well for Fear Pro, and that was another similar comp that we saw game 1 against Lords. So IIT looking to pull a similar composition here out. We'll have to see, you know, if it ends up paying off. It looks like it's a style that they are attuned with, and Northeastern, don't know if they've taken up the pick to do their research to see the past games that IIT has performed in, but we'll have to see if IIT can continue a successful run with this team comp. So we got a couple of viewers. Looking like we had a recent follower, RJT Fru. I'm not sure where you're coming from, man, but if you're watching right now, appreciate the follow. And as always, you know, if you want to keep up to date with Illinois Tech news, esports news, just on our Twitch stream, all that information there in the bottom for where to connect with us. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all of that good stuff. So, but enough of the social media plugs. We're going to jump right into the Pantheon pick there as the last rotation for the last first rotation pick for Alonius, and that's likely going to be a Pantheon support. And so IIT is going to get their top and bot secured, mid and jungle open, whereas mid and bottom open for Northeastern. Bans here will have Decane and Kindred removed, and again, just 4 junglers there aimed at Divine, and Northeastern looks like they want to do their best to shut him down, but I believe Divine's portfolio is enough that, you know, even though he might not be on perhaps a carry champion, he still is able to pull out the stops on a tankier champ to just allow his team to provide the damage while he starts the initiation. Meanwhile, IIT going with their bans, it's going to be the Diana and the Yone, of all things. That's a new one. I haven't seen that before, but looking like they don't want to have that. Perhaps it's a mid potential, and I can see why. There's a decent amount of engage there, a decent amount of CC lock with the Pantheon stun, with the Orn knockup. You know, could set up a big wombo along with the Misfortune ADC that's going to be picked up by Northeastern, but you know, Samira, she can only dodge so much with that W shield around herself, and Nautilus is kind of more of the middle ground supports, where he can stay in the middle of a fight, go back to the ADC if he needs to, or go forward with his hook. So really the front line so far looks to be with that Shed and Nautilus, and it's going to be the Lilia jungle there picked up by Stone and Arcade. Likely going to be in the Lilia jungle there for Divine, and then Orianna as the last pick here for IIT there for Draco. And again, decent amount IIT, that composition has a decent amount of CC, a decent amount of engage. They have limited tools to kite away. They've got some of that, the Lilia E-Seed slow. They've got the Orianna zoning ult. But they also have the engage tools as well. So it's a pretty well-rounded comp there. Northeastern though, the Galio here mid is going to be looking like they want to be wanting to just tank up their front line a little bit more. And it's going to be difficult to dive. You know, those are some pretty big guys to get through there. So IIT is going to have to be need to be careful to manage their damage for sure. But that's a lot of AD on Northeastern side. A ton of armor on the Nautilus, and Shen should be able to get them away from any hairy situations, perhaps. We're gonna jump into the countdown now as we're approaching the 3-minute spectate delay, but when we come back, it's going to be game 1 on its way. Alright, thanks everyone.
Mic off. Mic on.
Alright, welcome back. Believe everything's good to go. Desktop audio is on. This logo from Northeastern is a little small. Let me make that a little bit bigger. Gotta make them a little bit more chunky. Alright, that's close enough. Okay, if you're tuning in, once again, this is going to be NU Northeastern University, not Northwestern or whoever you're thinking. It's Northeastern University here against Illinois Tech. Illinois Tech will be starting the game off on the blue side. It's going to be Blitzkrieg on the Shen top, Reform Divine, and we're hit with the pause. Reform Divine in the Lilia jungle, Draco on the Oriana mid, Snowed on Arcade, Samir ADC, Fear Deporo on the Nautilus support. Meanwhile, on Northeastern side, it's going to be Kaido on the Orin top, Bagel in the Graves jungle, Alonius on the Galio mid, and Oink, Misfortune ADC, and SoundCloud on that Pantheon support. A little bit of a technical difficulty there from Alonius, but nevertheless, game is going on. Summoner's Rift has opened up, and we are on our way to a hopefully exciting series here. Worlds has completed, but this is the collegiate version of Worlds. Let's just call it that. A couple of cautionary words. Fear the Poor is going to put one right down there. Tribush as well there from the Samira. A couple members of Northeastern here hovering around. They're going to be putting a bush right inside. There's going to be a dash there from the Graves, but they'll see him the second that he pops out of the jungle, likely. A couple of questioning pings there. They're not sure what's happening. Lilia inside her jungle, cuddled up there with Shen. Graves going to be popping out pretty soon, but he's going to be careful for Snowdown Arcade if he decides to dash over. And that's a bold dash, you know, he's by himself right now. So you'll have to see who comes out of it. Still Big are going to be stuck all the way inside. It could be a potential catch here. This is a very interesting bush strat, but they are going to be caught by the Tribush ward, so they know something is up. It's going to give the confidence for Lilia and Shen to go in here. It's going to be a couple seconds until it spawns. Ornn's going to be there as well. And this is the information that IIT knows. They now know that they're going to be starting off here. Lilia starting it off onto the Raptors, though Ornn won't be there to see it until the last second. And a little bit of an unorthodox start here from both sides. Will be the Tribush ward expiring in a few seconds though, so if Graves decides to stay, it could be a dangerous gank. Especially if a Pantheon got to level 2 soon. Waves are going to start even on both sides. Both ADCs going to be able to get things started. Pantheon already kind of bodying himself some room inside this bush. Already putting a decent amount of pressure. They're going to walk right up into there. It is going to be the hook missed by Puerto Poro, and a little bit of finagle there. The Pantheon lets him avoid that skill shot. Lilia level 2 though is going to have the red buff, is going to be able to harass Ornn just a little bit before she scurries back to the blue buff. Meanwhile, Vega goes for a full clear here towards Divine's red side. Level 2 already here, advantage there for Northeastern. Draco caught in a little bit of Splash Ignite plus to stun. It's going to be very dangerous there for Draco, but he will able to walk outside, walk out with just a little bit over 100 HP. Very close call there from him. But it is going to be a fairly low Galio. It is going to be an Igniteless Galio, but a double buff. Lilia to help things out. Nice little bit of a stun there. He will have to flash, but is it going to be enough? The Seed will just barely graze him. And he's going to have to force himself to walk out. Pantheon moving up here, but not too much more to help. Reformed Divine knows that something is up. It's going to be the Justice Punch coming and scoop it up a little bit. Ignite there from Divine to see what he can do. He's going to have to flash himself out, but the Grace is there to follow the first blood. Stun here from Star and Arcade. We're trying to see who else they can pick up, but now going here is there to close things out. They're going to have to fight their way through it. Justice Punch there from Melodious is able to get the kill as well, and 3 kills. A nice collapse there for Northeastern, is able to get a very nice start there. 4-0. A lot of sums there from IIT and from Northeastern, but they'll prevail. It's going to be the 2 kills there on the Graves. A little bit of mismanagement there towards Vision, unaware of the Pantheon roaming up there. And IIT not able to close it out, unfortunately. Tough start for the Hawks, but we'll have to see what they can do to bring it back. Early days yet, but likely, you know, we're not going to be seeing anything until level 6. I can only imagine. Blitzkrieg and Ornn kind of just battering about right now. A little bit of a wave there for Blitz, so manage it okay. They are going to try to go for the fight, but Blitzkrieg is going to have a lot of damage put onto him by the minions. Now Divine there to scoop things up. It's only a matter of time, likely, as they try to corral him inside the pit. A decent amount of jungle clear, and Divine will be able to pick up the kill. I thought I said level 6 they were going to be done, but stand corrected. Abel just finishing up these Raptors. They'll know something is up still. Divine's going to be a little bit low on mana, but she should be fine. She's going to have to try her hardest to match the Graves XP though, as he is just hitting level 5. Lilia about a half level behind, so will likely be a first drag in Northeastern's favor. Another Pantheon rogue here. We'll have to stun, we'll have to taunt. SoundCloud coming in for the stun lock, and a ton of CC control there. Is going to have Alonius slay Draco there. Corrupting potions, Dark Seal, and an Amplifying Tome to start him off, but it's going to be difficult to track the Pantheon, and that's what he's meant for. He's meant for the roaming. So it will be a lot harder right now for Orianna right now to kind of come find the rhythm for her in this game right now. Galio level 6 is going to be able to have his ultimate to zoom to any side lane that in dire need, and Graves now at a nice start here is going to have that 600 gold lead to finish up his first item. Lilia probably just going to start her first back. Likely won't be able to complete the item just yet. Yeah, I don't think so. Blitzkrieg able to pick himself up level 6 now though is going to be a nice ultimate to have if they go for any more fighting, but this is going to be the first dragon attempt here, an Infernal here for Bagel to try to get himself started. Lilia not going to have enough for Runic Echoes, I think is another item, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. A little bit of a engage here. Lilia is going to get a little bit of a CC there, but they want to keep going for more. This dive here. The hook from 4 will not land, and they're going to lay everything onto him. The ultimate will not be able to do just enough damage. Blitzkrieg ultimate will bring him into the fight, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to have to force himself to flash out. The flash there from the Galio. He's going to be stuck. The kill going over to Oink as well as the Red Buff, and they are now claiming Death Jungle as their own. MF there to pick up the ult. Samira too far behind to really catch up at the moment. She's going to have enough for the Caulfield Warhammer, but MF is already going to have that BF sword in her kit, and the lead continues to grow exponentially here for Northeastern. A lot of these big kills happening inside the red jungle. You know, right now, Lilia's Divine struggling to pace herself against that Graves pick, and you have to wonder, you know, is the 4 jungler ban just too much for Divine to handle, or does IIT just have to play smarter around this kind of pick? You know, do they have to prioritize a first rotation jungle pick? I don't know. Blitzkrieg's going to try to do what he can, but there's already a very nice CSC built up by Kaido. Blitzkrieg already taken to under half health, and he's not looking like he's going to go for much more. Graves right now making his move towards his Rift Herald. It's just going to continue as much early game pressure as possible right now. SoundCloud coming into the tribal. There's going to be a Lilia in the area. Not sure if they're going to be able to see much more than that. Won't be able to land the seed. Pantheon's going to have to run his way out of there for sure. A solo Rift Herald there captured. A exposed. It's a full tower, but a dive here could be deadly for Blitz. They're going to look like they're going to try to see if they can follow up with anything more. Divine going to have to force himself to flash out just to be able to get the range on it. He is going to have to sleep. But a huge punch is going to land right there on the Gal. He's going to have to force himself to flash out. And then kills continue to rack up here. And Oink trying to see if he can follow up. There's going to be SoundCloud coming in through. The hook able to buy a little bit more time to slow a little bit as well. Orianna trying to come down if she can. Playing just with the slimmest of margins, but the hook will not register. Justice Punch will. That is what it's called, right? Oh yeah. Rift Herald doing its work here as well, capturing now this turret to almost under half health. And this is pretty much it for IIT. I can't see how they can come back at this point. Reformed Divine maybe going to be able to pick up the kill here. We'll be able to get one there. Will be able to pick up that kill. Draco is going to have his ultimate available. They want to look for more. They are going to be able to get the flash out from Graves. They want to keep following it up to Scorch. It's going to buy a little bit of time, but the Galio ult coming down. Blitzkrieg here available is going to be able to get a nice little bit of a stun, but still Bagel still holding on. Snowdown Arcade wants to go for the fight here. They are going to have him ultimate his way through, but it's not going to be enough. Peter Poro is going to be left alone under her turret. And level 5 to boot. She is desperately behind. Having that ultimate would be a lifesaver in the fight. But it's not going to be enough. Tough game 1 for sure. But Northeastern definitely not afraid to make these bold calls, to go for these invades, and IIT unfortunately not able to keep up the pace with that. The Pantheon roaming just able to outclass the Nautilus, and IIT doesn't look like they're confident enough to try to force a 2v1 fight against the MF either, so it's tough. You know, MF isn't allowing them room either to even go for that gank. It's all strategic, it's all that pacing that matters, and we're going to have the second dragon spawn here already. A sizable 8k gold lead there for Northeastern, and I can't imagine IIT even wanting to try to go for a contest here. They do have the Shen ultimate at the ready, but I don't think they're gonna have enough for it. Gray's pretty much able to take the solo. They don't have any damage. They're gonna try it. They're gonna have the ultimate to sleeper. They're gonna know that the Raiders around the area are going to need a Shen to try to get something through here. It is going to be the TP from Ford to bring things down, but this dive will not work. It's going to be another 2 kills over for Northeastern, and it's going to be Shen left alone. The ultimate being used, but not even enough to keep any members alive, and this has got to be just tough to watch here. You got to feel for the Hawks here. Just left alone here to their own devices. Galio even holding out onto his own. And I thought that the Galio wasn't going to have the damage, but I am gravely mistaken. Ultimate could have bought a little bit of time. Bagel, though, will be able to walk out. One more turret would have been it, but not going to happen. And some very big bounties across the board there, across the jungle, mid, and ADC, but you're going to have Rift Herald spawn in the next few minutes. You're going to have the Stone Mountain Soul here available. Going to make the Summoner's Rift a little bit more clunky. And while they have the lead, I'm not a firm believer in comebacks like these, but I don't want to count my Hawks out just yet. Even if they do go for a loss here, I think they can at least know what to not do for this game 1, and looking like that this comp that, while able to prove itself against Lords, was not going to be enough to E-talk from Blitzkrieg, not going to be enough to capture Oink. He did have the flash available if he wanted that guarantee, but Snowdown now being in a 1v1 situation is going to have the double summoners. Can they go for more? They're going to try it. It is going to be an Ornn that has a decent amount of armor. The flash, though, from Ornn to get himself out of that sticky situation.
Team's turret has been destroyed.
And during the time that they will be able to open up the rift, all tier 1s now we see here from IIT is going to be the Pantheon engaged. Divine coming in. It is going to be in a bit of a sleep. It will be enough, though, to pick up a kill. But unfortunately, 14 assists, but no shutdown gold, I think, on that Pantheon. Won't yield too much there for the strain here. Oro's stuck now in a hard place, going to force himself to use the ult, but that's a valuable ultimate that might be wasted here. And the map will continue to open up another tier 2. The first tier 2 taken here from Northeastern. Rift Herald spawning in just 30 seconds, and Northeastern jockeying for a little bit of positioning here. They got only one ward here inside the blue jungle, and almost all of IIT's map is just left uncovered. Divine's going to try to go for a little bit of engage, but you know, at this point, all of these kills on Ornn won't yield too much because he doesn't have the shutdown gold. While they are losing out a little bit on here, it's just not enough. Divine, though, going to try his luck against the 1v1 here against Ornn. The seed won't land either. And it could be a 1v1 kill here in place. Polonius going for it, and it's going to be the GG. IIT does not even want to deal with it, and that's uncommon. Looks like Illinois Tech took what they could, and they're going to give it over to Northeastern. 19-3, 34.6 to 20k gold, and that's a very big shutout there, and a tough start there for the Hawks. Alright. I didn't even have time to check the damage charts, but one can only imagine the Galio, the Graves, the MF going big for that for sure, and uh, not the type of League of Legends I'm used to. Normally the Hawks are able to be a little bit more resilient, but looking like Northeastern read them like the book, or a book. Sorry, that's the proper terminology, right? So we're gonna start things off 1-0 there for them. Looking like Northeastern's going to be taking the blue side here for game 2, and oh boy, we got some thinking to do here. Can the Hawks make it through? And a little bit of chatter from Nightwind. How can a D1 team be 11k gold down at 12 minutes without me contributing? I don't know, Nightwind. I think that's a good question that you'll have to ask the coach themselves if they plan for something like that. But a couple of early game invades, and unfortunately IIT not able to reply to that level of aggression and coordination that Northeastern showed so well was might be the answer to your question there. All right, we'll put a little bit of music on while we wait. All right, game 2 on its way. Looking like Illinois Tech has figured out something to do, hopefully, about a pretty tough game 1 performance. A complete shutout there from Northeastern, unfortunately, and only picking up 2 kills there against Orin. Their mid, jungle, and bot lane seems to be really strong. And if anything, I would say it's more of their mid jungle, but the bot lane came out through on its own for sure for some of the rotations. Pantheon especially providing a lot of rotation, a lot of pressure, unfortunately, to kind of edge out Draco and not give him the confidence that he needs to go for a 1v1 fight. Alright. We're gonna get... Sorry, I took a quick break to snack on a pear. But, let me actually get a little bit of the picks and bans out of the way here. It will be Northeastern taking the game 1. For those that are just tuning in, they're now going to be onto the blue side selection. Getting a similar feel for what they want to do. They're going to go with the same bans that they did in game 1. Azir, Fiddlesticks, and Shyvana take it away. And going to priority pick that Kaido onto that Graves jungle once again. But IIT going to change things up a little bit. They're going to get that Pantheon Galio out of the way. Looking too strong there for Illinois Tech to handle. And pick up the Jhin for themselves to boot. As well as the Leona support there for Poro. So they want to have some strong initiation. They want to have a little bit of backline. But the Kale taken away once again will mean that we're going to see a little bit different playstyle likely from Northeastern. Probably not as many selfish roams. But you could have it on the side of the Leona for sure. So perhaps in Israel? I'm not sure. Orndo will be picked up once again in the top lane. Could be a, what matches Leona in terms of roaming potential that's not Pantheon? Maybe Morgana, if anything. Well, Bard works too. The Magical Journey will be enough to speed him around the rift to keep up the pace, and unless Leona goes crazy with Moby Boots. Likely wouldn't see that, but... Oh, do it. Oh, please do the Singe top. I'm ready for it. Nope. It will be Blitzkrieg on the Shen duty once again, it looks like. But IIT still content to leave their jungler position open here for the second picks, and it's just going to allow more tools though for Northeastern to try banning it out. So we'll likely see perhaps the Kindred taken away once again. Oh, and it's going to be the Hecarim as well, so that's different, I think. Yone there taken out from IIT's side. Okay, so right now you've got a good amount of initiation with the Leona. You need to have the Shen be able to match his own against Ornn. Did not look like Blitzkrieg was able to do it. Ornn already building up a sufficient amount of CS near the 5-6 minute mark, you know, near like the double digits, so that's pretty dangerous for sure. So unless there's going to be focus in top lane, or IIT has to hedge their bets and try to focus Divine towards other lanes to try to get those guys ahead, and just trust Blitzkrieg to manage as much as possible and just pray that the ultimate is needed when it's needed. But it'll make things harder, you know, especially for those big fights. If a Bard ult lands, you know, could delay the Shen ult, could stop him from showing up onto the Rift even. And that is going to be unusual, but it's going to be the Karthus jungle, and that's going to be an insane amount of clear. And if anything, it could be potential invades as well, as long as Karthus gets first blood with his team. You know, as long as he goes for the int strategy, it's possible, right? That's how you play it. An Oink right now going to be hovering on the Orianna pick. Draco showing prowess in that in some games in the past. Perhaps they don't want to have that as an option in this case, but it didn't seem to be too much of a problem in game 1. But likely the Galio got so big, and just the roaming from the Pantheon just made it impossible. So Northeastern's not going to give that over. They're going to take it for themselves, and oh, I mentioned Ezreal. Yeah, I was thinking that. That's going to be the final pick there out from Northeastern, and oh my lord, do him dirty with the Astro, dude. I'm so ready for it. I need some of that injected into my casting blood. Nope, looking like a Lucian hover here, or perhaps the Syndra pick also. Nah, I don't think the Syndra pick does too much for this kind of thing. But it will be the Echo, and Echo versus Orianna. Well, if you get caught between an ultimate right on top of you with your recall, then you could be in some big trouble, but decent amount of engage, some CC with the Jin W, Leona stuns, Shen stuns. It's likely going to be Northeastern trusting themselves to continue themselves with the initiation. They've got the Bard ultimate to set things up. They've got the Ornn ultimate, so likely, you know, in the mid game, that's going to be when they are their strongest. But in terms of the 2v2, Jin Leona versus Bard, if Bard misses a Q and Leona has her CDs, you can bet your booty that IIT will not let them get away with that. I would hope so anyway. We're gonna get hit with the 3-minute spectate delay, but when we come back, game 2 on its way. Can Illinois Tech make the comeback? Hashtag IIT win. Let us know in chat, I guess, for our live viewers and back at home. And I'm sure you guys are looking forward to the trick-or-treating, but, you know, hold your horses and snack on some chocolate while you watch game 2, alright? See you guys in a bit. Oops. Okay, that was weird. I did not think my game was gonna bug out like that. Hold on a second, this is still buggy. Ah! What's happening? Okay, I think I fixed it. Please? Please, Poppy? Okay, I think we're good. Hopefully. Okay, game 2 on its way. Northeastern will be onto the blue side. It's going to be Kaido on the Ornn top once again. Stale Bagel as the Graves jungle. Oriana mid for Alonius. Ezreal for Anoint ADC. And SoundCloud on the Bard support, my favorite champion. And meanwhile, on IIT side, they're going to 5-man Bush with Blitzkrieg in the Shen top, Divine, Karthus jungle. Echo for Draco mid, and Stone and Arcade on the Jhin ADC, and Poro will now be on the Leona support. A little bit of a different style here. It's going to be Galaxy Bard, one of the cool skins there. IIT going to clump themselves into a 5-man, trying to see if they dare approach their blue side jungle. That's tough. Bard Q stun could be really dangerous if they try to go for anything. But they're not going to go for it. They're going to put a cautionary ward onto their red side to be careful of any invades. And it will be a standard start there for the Hawks. It will be Graves settling himself to solo this red. That's going to give a little bit of a bush cheese there from on the side of Northeastern to get themselves situated there a little bit. Push the wave up a little. And we'll have members of IIT make their way down, and a Leona E initiation will not land. A couple of autos there to reply. Jockey for position right now. SoundCloud going to be putting a decent amount of damage. We'll have to electrocute. Throw off the Leona just a bit. We'll have a nice little bit of auto and the stun as well. The flash auto, one more could do it, but it's not going to be enough damage. Will be a stun onto the Jhin. But the flash being used, early summoners there for Ezreal. Both flash available for IIT's bot lane. All that is being asked is for a Leona flash Q to the face. Perhaps, but not just yet. A little bit of a jockey here. Echo going to be watching. Going to have him jump all the way around here. And we'll take a Graves shotgun to the face. But nothing much more to yield. Divine going to be a level ahead from the Graves. Will have the Graves eventually go back to settle the blue onto his own. Divine will have to sweat his way through these Raptors. Will have the information that they know that Arthas does not have the red up yet. Could this be the invade of invades? Still, Bagel is thinking about it. He's going to go for it. And there is not going to be a smite on Karthus' side, so it's going to be a very close call for sure. Can he manage it? It is going to be taken. Stale Bagel will have it. One more auto could be able to do it. It's going to get the near side. It's going to get the auto, but it's not enough. And that's going to be a tough day for Divine though. Leona's going to try to help him out with a little bit of a Rift Scuttle leash. And at the end, it will be the Graves. Karthus a little bit ahead, but will be red buffless, but it's not too big of a deal for him. Blue buff is the essential one. It will be a bit of engage. SoundCloud starting things off. It will be the stun picked up here. One more auto will be able to do it, but the Bard reply, they want more. Can he go for it? One more auto will be able to do it. He gotta find himself to fight it out. It's going to be enough. The stun there from Leona as well. Can he block this real cute? We're gonna try to go for it. The stun won't be there. The reload from the Jhin. One more auto would be able to do it. Can't pull it off. Alonius making Draco suffer here right now in the mid lane. He's going to have to force himself to go for the early back. He will have a TP to get himself back to lane though. But he's going to have to be denied a lot of CS here right now. A lot of close calls there from Illinois Tech, but bot lane, they are more confident in their 2v2. They want to be able to force this out. They want to be able to have the wave pushing out here, it looks like. As they're trying to manage it. Will be Leona running right into SoundCloud. Engage here. We'll chunk down Bard to about 400. Will be Echo coming in. There will be a portal to get himself right back out. Dragon is going to be the Infernal to start things off. A little bit of a cautionary warding here from the Bard, trying to see who can do. He's going to have a little bit of a health pack there charged up for him. Ready. And they continue to try to manage the wave here. Trying to have it push out in their favor. Leona doing a little bit of vision management as well, and they're going to try to have Karthus power farm his way to 6 as fast as possible from the looks of it. Graves there doesn't have anything here for him just yet. It's going to be his red buff. Going to be about 2.5 minutes until anything comes out from that. It will be the wave pushed all the way here for Ezreal to farm as he's going to build himself up a nice little bit of a lead there. At least 10 CS already. But it's only early days yet. Still even in terms of the goal, those early pickings right now. Both Jhin and ADC do have the kills. Ping's coming out right now, crazy all over. Draco's going to try his luck here. Still Bagel will just be there to wave hello, and we'll go right back into his jungle though. But IIT looking like they saw it coming with a ward here perhaps. Or he might have dashed just before. Not too sure. Draco wants to reply a little bit towards Alonius, make him sweat a little bit. We'll have the ring, we'll have the seal, and a lot of starter items there for him, but 2 points here to think about. We'll have the Bard around the area, we'll have the Infernal Dragon push out, and this will be a great dragon for the Hawks, as you're not going to have any more Infernals after this. Going to be able to secure it. And the Bard roam here from downtown. Draco going to try to do what he can, but Bard Q will not land. Bard will leave a health pack behind for Orianna. She's going to be level 7 now. And we'll still be able to maintain her mana well enough. But we talked about the Blitzkrieg lead, and unfortunately Orange just continually slowly build himself up to that very tanky monster. That's going to make it really hard for the Hawks to do it in a very late situation. But the Shen ult would be enough to buy a little bit of time for those guys for sure. So time will tell if the Orange will just go to a stage beyond, saving. But, a lot of that lead there from on their side. Bard Q. Too much. We're going to try to push the wave a little bit again. And it will be the start of the level 6s coming across here with Karthus having it available, but no members from Northeastern low enough really to challenge. Level 6 here from Portal will take a while. Bar is going to try to see things off from here. Once you try it off, it's going to be the ultimate from Karthus to get themselves to kill. The Ignite is not going to be enough. Fear to Portal with a nice little side step to get himself out of there. But the Shen ultimate here to come through. Can they get the kill? He is going to be able to come down onto the Rift. He will not have his E available though. Jhin ultimate to try to see what he can do. Is going to force the flash out. Can they go for more? One more ultimate will be able to do it. It's not going to be enough. But Blitzkrieg is going to be able to get himself the kill, but at the expense of his life. The 4th bullet will not land on the Snowdown Arcade side, but will be able to get himself an assist and perhaps a little bit of turret plating. There it goes. Quick sequence of events here to stabilize a little bit in terms of the goal lead, but Divine here to capture up a little bit of the CS missing from the Shen. Bard here around the area, nice little bit of a dodge there. Can they go for more? It's going to be trying their luck at it. The Electrocute doing a decent amount of damage here, but the Shen TP is there to spoof away the Bard. That's a decent amount of damage, but oh, this is going to be tough now. Now we're in a scary mode of Karthus perhaps walking right onto a Graves. It is going to be available. He is not going to have the flash. He's going to be airborne, but they are diving this Graves now, and Bagel be 11 seconds until he's coming back. I was going to make some sort of stale joke, but I didn't know where I was going with this. So he's going to shut up and continue on with the game. So nice little bit of a comeback there, making them pay for that Graves aggression. And we've seen Divine get caught in his own jungle a couple of times just due to lack of vision. And Graves is kind of able to edge out of those tight spots for sure, So looking like Divine's learned his lesson. Starting to build up a small lead here for the Hawks. And Bard coming all the way around from downtown. It is going to have him likely just portal himself all the way around. This goes for the plan. Leona not going to be level 6 just yet. Just one more wave would likely be able to do it. I don't think it's going to be this wave. I take it back. I think it will. Actually. Yep. Oh, or not. That's literally like 1 XP, bro. Come on. Oh man. One of the advantages with the Bard roam is the Meeps. I think the Meeps XP will pay it off. A little bit of an A little bit of a better start here for IIT. Draco getting a nice little bit of electrocute damage there onto Logan. Scoop bomb, and the ultimate is going to force the Orianna to flash right out. Draco being confident in his hand now with that Echo Pick. TP here from Ornn. He's going to have to get himself all the way out here. Beautiful is going to be stuck in a nice flash to get himself out, but the Bard ultimate will keep her in place, and we'll have to follow up there as well. Shen ultimate not ready just yet, so they're going to try to see what they can do to get themselves out. Forcing the Ornn TP here means that Northeastern wants their bot lane to come back a little bit. They're looking like they don't like the idea of IIT winning against them 2v2, meaning that Ornn is going to have to step up to the plate now, as he already still has a decent lead against his Shen, so they can afford those losses. No turrets being taken yet, but there is going to be an Ocean Dragon spawn. Ornn will not have his TP for the fight, but the Shen ultimate will be available. Could be a big turn of events here if IIT is able to play it off right. Another big objective onto the map. Infernal Ocean, always a great start here. Leona ultimate is not at the ready just yet. They are going to have Sailbagel come right into it. It's going to be locked into it. Triple ultimate from Orianna will not be able to find any more members, but the ultimate will be there. The stun there from Bard to be able to buy just a little bit of time, but the ultimate from the Karthus will be able to finish it off. Echo there as well for the emotional support. SoundCloud coming, and when I say coming, I mean running for his life. Ornn now going to have to chunk his way through the tower, but like I said, it's all about those global objectives, global spells, and Shen able to prove himself there. He's able to come into that fight and get over some much needed kills. The IIT wants to continue following up. A nice double stun there. It's going to be a lot of damage. Flash forcing away here. It's going to be the Ignite, edging out the Jhin to 90 HP, but it's not going to be enough. A nice little bit of a play to buy a little bit of time, but the dive here from Ornn, they want to keep going for more. They're going to have the Bard force himself into the Zhonya's. The ultimate will be enough to kill the Bard, though. Excuse me, will be enough to kill the Karthus. Oh, that was unexpected. Didn't think that would be enough. But Graves lurking from the bushes does have the ultimate available, but it's going to have to be a very safe bet that they have to likely aim for. No more members, but IIT holding on their own. Lead continues like in the Ornn's favor, but IIT has done enough on their other laner side to kind of even up the gold lead now. A little bit of a gold lead for the Hawks here, but we'll have to be careful if they continue this kind of style of fighting. I think they can put a good spot for sure. Draco going to try to see what he can do, and he's going to be able to match himself in a nice little 1v2, and Draco continuing his killing spree. 2-0-2 for the Time Traveler. Wait, no, hold on. Is that Zillion? I forgot what their like champion rotations are. Someone, it's like the boy who shattered time or something. I don't remember. I'm terrible with my League lore. Like I know all the champions, but I just like don't remember like what their background stories are all about. Oh well. Karthus in a much better spot as opposed to game 1 on the Vine here. Able to keep himself a bubble ahead and will be able to, just outpace the Graves for sure. And looking like this pick working out much better here for them. Ornn walking all the way up to Kaido. They're going to see each other. I never noted that. Ornn, that Karthus is right now on the trap. I'm not sure if Vine saw that ward right here being placed. He might have seen it just on the edge of vision. It's a tough spot between right here and here, so I'm not entirely sure. Hold on. Hex Splash from Leona. Oh, she is confident, and I like that. Yeah, IIT performing much better in the 2v2 Stone and Arcane and Coral. Knowing that if the Graves is not around, knowing that if they can hold out onto their own, that's a good position. They need Draco pushing out a little bit here. Trading a little bit here. The ultimate, nice little bit of a stun to keep himself out of that situation, but he's going to be running right into a stale bagel. Shen ultimate, going to try to see what he can do. Buys a little bit of time, uses almost all of his shield there, so it was important. But it's going to be another big cooldown to have to wait your time out for, so it's almost a 2.5 minute. Oh man, you got to feel for the Shen, but it's Going to buy a little bit of time there for Graves to try to get his way onto this Rift Tail. Does IIT want to go for this fight? Bot lane conversion here. He's going to beat a hard ultimate, landing right on top of Divine, and he will not have an ultimate to help him out either, and he's going to burst right through him. Fight will be able to take down the Graves just a bit. And can they buy enough time though? Or going to initiate with his ultimate to try to see what he can do, but they are going to fight tooth and nail for this Rift Arrow. And it will go over to the Graves. Damage there. Echo is looking big and large. He's got a little bit of shutdown gold on to his name as well. And Stone and Arcade as well. We'll have a little bit of a CS lead now to his name as well. Just behind on the kills though, as Israel has picked up 2 more than him, but no first tower yet, but 3 members of Northeastern here around the area. Draco walking right in front of a Graves, not even going to register that, because instead just going to go for the fight. The initiation there from Leona is going to be spending 1 ultimate in exchange for her cleanse, and Leona has a very forgiving ultimate though, only about a minute CD. Could be dangerous though, as you have the dragon spawning in about 38 seconds, but unless they go for a straight start, she should be okay to pick it up. It's going to beat a Mountain Soul once again here on Summoner's Rift. This back though working in favor for the Jhin. He's going to be able to pick up his IE and his BF, as Real not backing just yet. But he's got only 800 to his name, so not too much to be worried about. But Draco continuing to try to see if he can force the fight. He is going to be caught here right now, but they are going to have the ultimate to catch a couple of members, but it's going to beat Divine falling in that process. Draco going to have to try to fight his way out of it. He's not going to have his ultimate. Oriana flashing herself out, excuse me. But Northeastern here quick to jockey for the position as they maintain control, bastioning over to outer space, and Draco's still going for these fights. He's trying to do as much as he can to delay, but Jhin will have his ultimate, but is not going to be used. Blue team will finally be able to make a stand and finally get themselves that valuable amount. But the Turtle and Ocean is still good for the Hawks. Still an even game here across Northeastern. A pick there onto the Karthus was able to buy a little bit of time, give them the security that they needed. And Shen not doing too shabby for himself, has caught up a little bit, only about 300 gold behind. Turret plating has expired by now. No first turret being used yet. Graves still holding on to this Rift Herald, and I wonder what they're trying to aim with it. He doesn't have much time left on it. The mid turret wouldn't fall with it. Top definitely would. They are desperate for the first turret, and he is going to be looking like he's clearing himself forces before he moves up there. Karthus not in the area. Karthus walking right now through this trap, which is going to be seen by it. And this would be a very big dive if they're able to pull it off. They're going to have a couple members here around the area. A little bit of damage there is going to be enough to scare SoundCloud to under about a third health. Rift Herald is going to be placed. The E won't be enough, but it is going to force himself to flash himself out of that situation. Oh boy, okay. That's a scary one. He did not have enough of the dash length to get him through there. Had to force himself to dash. If Northeastern wanted to go for that foul, they would have had enough, but they're going to go for the fight. One more auto will be able to do it. The Ignite there as well. Ultimate here, not going to be available. Could it be a double kill? One more will be able to do it, and it's going to land. Nice shots there from Star and Arcade. The last bullet will find its mark. But the Echo will fall in the process. Divine going to have to hold out onto his own. The first tower though falling here to the Hawks in favor. Okay, Divine going to have to try to play himself out of this. He will have the Shen ultimate available if they try to go for it. Will be Divine walking himself right into it, and a huge play from Divine to be able to go for that flash play. But Blitzkrieg will not have his flash initiation. He's going to force the Graves to shift right over. Will get a nice stun. Nice follow up there from the Jhin, buying a little bit more time. It's going to be a little bit more until Shen has his dash again. But Graves will have his faster. It will be the Baron up, but it will be a Rift Herald spawning. And it's going to get another chunk of this turret. Hawks not having someone dedicate themselves for that's going to be a lot of damage onto that turret, unfortunately. And at the expense of not being able to get the Graves, that's going to be a little bit of a tough pill to swallow, but the Hawks showing much better team play here. Much better synergy in terms of their abilities and layering them together. That Jin W working really well. IIT's bot lane saying, don't count us up, don't count us out. We know what we're doing in 2v2 and Snowdown Arcade. A 4-year veteran for the program, showing us why he deserves the starting role. Couple of pings here. Draco putting himself out here to try to get his ward. Is going to be having Snowdown Arcade caught in here. Can they go for more? Nice little bit of an outplay here. Can they go for more? The nearsightedness is not going to be enough. It's going to take 4 members though to catch him out, and the Bard will be able to do it with that ultimate. And that's a little bit of a tough vision control, unfortunately. Nothing to see here. Will buy a little bit of time there for Northeastern. But it's really even all across the board right now. Blitzkrieg going to have to hold out on his own. He is going to have the Titanic Hydra. Likely a dead man's, I think, with this item. Fine coming in through here, will not have the ultimate. Oh, wait, I take it back. Orianna being Orianna has the ultimates. Stun there, nice route. They will have to follow up. No range from Blitzkrieg won't be fast enough to get through there, and that's going to be a lot of ultimates at the expense. Excuse me, just the Jin ultimate at the expense of the Mountain Dragon spawning here in 30. Draco is going to have his TP available for it, though. Hawks wouldn't be a make or break fight, likely to start pushing the game into that mid-game to late phase now for sure. Bard will have his ultimate coming up now. With a beautiful ult could be enough to spell the fate here. It will be the Leona caught in a rock in a hard spot. It will be Snowdown Arcade getting the knockup with the Orianna combo, and Northeastern is taking the last fight, quickly spiraling out of control. The damage from Defiant is not going to be enough. Likely going to have to force himself to come out, but it will be him able to pick up 2 kills. Shen and Echo still available. Draco's still going for it. He wants to see if he can go for more. He does have the Shen ult, but can it buy enough time for it? The damage is just not there, unfortunately. He's trying to do what he can. Blitzkrieg still won't have just enough damage for it, unfortunately. And the ace will come near through and to start Northeastern's lead. Big fight for sure. Jin caught in between the Orianna flank and the Ornn ult to pinch him right through. I think if the Hawks maybe tried to fight near this top side, would have been a better angle. But unfortunately, those kind of split calls, they're not wanting to face up the Bard with his Q likely either. So we'll have a couple of valuable kills go over to the Orianna, I think. I think she maybe got 1 out from that stage. No, it was just Ornn. I take it back. Ornn doing Ornn things. So that while they were able to shut him up in the first game, not able to do it in game 2, it looks like. That missile for now Imperial Mass is going to be big. That's a lot of that damage that they've got. Bard roaming around right now, as they are now fighting for positioning onto this Baron, but it is dangerous for sure. It is going to be SoundCloud crawling right inside here. He is going to have a magical journey to get himself out if he needs it, but won't have that just yet. And the Ornn with that Infernal Mass is going to be definitely enough for him to last 1v1 against this Echo for sure. Oh no, but it's going to be a blue buff quickly taken over from these guys. And they're going to try to clear out the Graves jungle. It's going to be Divine coming in through. It's going to be the ultimate and the layering. And once again, Divine, why are you getting caught in your own jungle, my friend? Time and time again, unfortunately, here for the Hawks. And this is now Blitzkrieg going to have to try to beg his way out to get out of here. But it doesn't look like they're opting for it. A couple members showing here. But I don't think the Hawks are going to be bold enough to even go for a Baron. I don't think they have the damage either. And I have to ask myself, who wins in the late game? Who wins if the game keeps going longer and longer? And to me, it feels like it's going to be Northeastern if they go for the late game. It's just, Shen ultimate is just so big that when it comes to those late game fights. You need to have it, for sure. You know, Karthus, unless he's able to 1v1 the jungle or ADC, then you're going to be stuck. Hold on here, a little bit of engage though. The stun here for Draco to buy a little bit of time, but barely scratches Kaido. Initiation here is going to have stun knockup, and oh no. 3 members took the fall here, and that's just not going to be enough damage. Will be enough though for the Ezreal as the last stand, but you know, Jin walking right up to that red buff, just asking to get the Bard Q to the face, and that's the warning. That's likely the reason why IIT did not feel ready to try to fight the Bard face first. They're just, the Bard is too good. The GM support, dude. It's too strong. It's all about that positioning. It's all about setting up for those big fights. And just those little things matter, though. Well, you can see Echo barely scratching the surface of that orb. He's going to be pretty much unstoppable. Already a bunch of armor, a bunch of MR, and a bunch of health on his kit. So, yeah, I talked about what's going to happen in the late game. That's what's going to happen in the late game. You're going to have Ornn pretty much 1v5, and then all it needs is just one nice ultimate layered up with a Bard ult or Orianna ult to pretty much just close the deal for them. So, unless IIT is able to burst someone really fast, catch someone unaware, you know, it's going to be tougher and tougher for them to mount a comeback. Shen also can't really match himself in terms of split push, you know, it's much tougher for him too. He doesn't even have the Sunfire Cape either, so it's, you know, I mean, Empower can only do so much. He will have his ultimate though available pretty soon. But right now, just kind of buying a little bit of time, trying to see who's going to aim for what big objective. You do have another Mountain Dragon. This will be the third one for either team, if they're able to get it. TP's available though from both sides. We'll have the Echo going for the split push on the top. We'll have 3 members of IIT trying their way through here. Now they're having to fight their way through their own jungle just to establish a little bit of vision. They are going to be onto the map first though. And you have a lot of members here pushing themselves out. It's going to be Define coming in right here against this Orianna. Will have a little bit of damage. The flash initiation won't be enough. Flash from the Stone Armor Cape won't be enough either. Bard won't land on anyone. It will be the kill onto Ezreal. Drake's going to have to force himself to flash himself right back out. He's going to try to go into the 1v1 on the Bard. Is able to capture it. Ultimate there from Karthus. Not going to be killing anyone. She does have the Zonias. But everyone there from IIT falling. And for the quad kill there. Quad kill there for Ezreal. And Ace is pretty much spelling it out. Another big team fight in Northeastern's favor, and likely the Baron, the in-hip turret. And this could spell the end here for the Hawks, unfortunately. Just the initiation, just not enough. The Zonia is actually having a little bit of that armor, perhaps buying herself just enough of that resistance against the Jhin. He tried for it, the flash was there, but they just have such a hard time focusing on that singular target. The initiation is just not enough. Northeastern not allowing IIT a chance to get kicked out anymore. It is going to be the Baron power coming in here now. Inhib, mid-turret exposed, Baron here available. 3 Mountain Dragons. That's just going to continue to add up to that armor and MR, making these guys incredibly hard to kill. You don't have burst with this comp. The Karthus is even more of a class cannon than Jhin. You know, so unless they map him in an impossible angle, I don't know. It's looking like Northeastern though wants to close it out here. They've got their side lane pushing, they've got their Orianna here finished up with her items. Gonna have to Rabadon's Death Crown. Seraph and Grace, Zodi's Hourglass. She's got enough sustain to keep her healthy. Enough shielding and time to keep her out for another health, and they're gonna start the initiation regardless. Zern Arcane trying to see what he can save it up for. Divine though will have the Zonias there, and you're gonna have 4 members of Illinois Tech cornered right here, and it's going to be the Divine caught right here. Will have to fall, will have to Jin me next as well, and all the damage now gone from IIT side. We're going to have to try to beg for his life as he's flashing his way out. Nice little bit of magical journey to buy some time of everything. Wait a second. Thank you. But, unfortunately, it's going to be the Shen, the last member here alive. It's going to be a little bit of an ego boost there from these guys as they are able to do a great performance. And Northeastern will take this game, oh my, and from the Hawks in a quick 2-0 fashion. This is going to end the Hawks' run in the PlayVS Ball Invitational. Oh my, this dive. Oh, they want it. Oh, they want to pay it back. But that's a GG's. And that will spell the end for IIT in the PlayVS. And oh my, oh my, oh my. Look at that. Yeah. I mean, I feel like the Jin damage is misleading. It's just like in the 2v2 they came through, but just late game, just all you need to do is just kill like the Karthus or the Jin and then you win. You know, there's enough MR for Ornn to handle 5 echoes on him, and yeah, the comp is just Northeastern just ready to initiate with that Bard ult and the pile drive from just Ornn ultimate, Orianna ultimate is just too much there to manage for IIT. Unfortunately, they don't really have too many tools to get themselves out of situations like that either. So, yeah, yep. Okay, well, enough lessons learned. Let's take a quick check back to the pick the score sheet. That's going to be the 2-0 once again. And I don't know. Are we supposed to do an interview? I don't really see anyone. Yeah, no one's inside the voice lobby, so they're all salty. Never mind. So okay. I'm not. CSL season has started for other JV leagues, so we'll try to maybe see if we can get casters to help out for that. I try to usually limit myself to 1 a week if I can. I'm gonna go offline after this and probably do just another live stream for the Lords game, so you guys can get some commentary on that. I have a VOD from Lord's stream and they didn't have any commentary, so I'll just put mine on top of that. But yeah, a very nice shutout there from Northeastern in a much better game though for the Hawks, able to maintain a decent goal discrepancy, you know, throughout the mid game, but pretty much after that 22-23 minute mark, it started getting really tough for the Hawks to kind of be able to group up for those big 5v5 fights. In the 2v2 though, shout out to Snowdown and Poro for holding out onto their own. Nice little bit of a double kill action that we saw there, and Graves, you know, was behind at certain points against the Karthus, but just in that late game phase, a lot of big objectives that they were not able to close the deal on. A lot of close calls, but that's Collegiate League of Legends for you, you know, so... Appreciate everyone if you watch live. I'm gonna go offline for a few minutes and then do another cast for the Lord so I can get that VOD up onto the YouTube channel. If you're new watching us, feel free to follow us on all that social media. But until then, Elvin Moore signing off. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a safe and happy Halloween.